Welcome to Uranus News, live. It turns out the ambassador to Uranus has never even been. We've been told he's been instructed to visit and give us a rundown on the culture and lifestyle of Uranus. Over to the weather, it's going to be dark and blustery. Stevie?
Yeah, I've never been. I haven't even really heard of many people that have been and came back alive. I don't plan on going, and I don't deal well with the cold.
I'd like to visit Uranus someday.
Welcome, everyone. This is Jonathan. You may remember him from a phone from last week. That's all I got, pretty much. He was on the phone. Things were said.
Things were said.
Some trash was talked.
Trash was talked. That's a good way to put it.
There was some smack.
Yeah, there was definitely some smack and some running over by the bus.
I was run over. I was thrown under, and then I was run over.
Yeah.
Repeatedly.
Yeah.
And it's happened more since then.
Oh, really?
That's the worst part. Yeah.
So,
oh, my gosh.
So, yeah, we had to have him on so he could redeem himself and really set the record clear. And so you guys, like Justin was saying, may remember Daniel Taylor throwing Jonathan under the bus. And he did get to call in and give a little bit of his opinion, but I think he was just waking up. So
yeah,
he's got more to say today.
Yeah.
And so
I thought I would have more to say. I thought I'd have a chance to redeem myself. Because when Daniel called me, my main point was that Dillon is a wrestler,
right.
and I'm not a wrestler. I was like, I'd be able to submit him. Since that day, I have been double grapevined and smashed by Dillon. If you don't know what a double grapevine is, it's where you can be in one of two positions. Either the victim can be laying on his face or his back, but the perpetrator of said grapevine is always on top, and they wrap their legs around your legs.
Oh, no.
And just spread your legs apart. And that's what happened to me for a long time.
Is it over the legs or under?
It's kind of looped under. I guess it's over. Under?
So thighs go over and then...
and you just yank.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's like an overhook to the thighs.
Yeah, it was rough. So we wrestled again, Dillon and I, because I was like, I just want to try again.
Yeah.
He's so strong.
He really is.
He's such a strong...
He's a man.
He's shockingly strong. He doesn't look like that strong with clothes on, but he takes his clothes off. He's just, whoa. When he takes his shirt off. When he takes his shirt off.
You could talk about it. You could talk about his thighs or whatever.
I took a picture of his back while he was rock climbing, and it's just like ridiculous.
It's like Thanos?
Yes, Thanos back. It's crazy. He looks like he's been rock climbing forever and wrestling forever because he has. So yeah, I challenged him to another wrestling match, and he smoked me pretty immediately. I have bloody knees and elbows, and my ear is all... Do you want to show us
where he hurt you?
Do you have a teddy bear?
Yeah.
If you have a teddy bear, I can show you on that. So yeah, I'm all beat up and stuff from that. But yeah, I challenged him to another wrestling match, thinking that maybe there would be some wiggle room and I would come out on top. And it didn't happen. He smashed me immediately. And then he was like, hey, but do you want to try a submission? Because that's kind of your thing, and I think, you'd beat me in that. I was like, okay, yes, finally. Like a chance at redemption. Like, I'm about to smoke him. I was thinking because he's a wrestler, guys going to their back is kind of irregular, like pulling guard,
Right, yeah. They like to be there, but you got some offense from there.
Like, I feel comfortable on my back. But I was thinking I would either get him in a triangle from my back, or I would take his back and I just, get him with a slick RNC or something. And
rear naked choke for you guys who don't know what that is.
Rear naked choke. And that didn't happen.
Oh,
He literally just slammed me on my back and grapevined me and held me there. And he just grabbed so he's on top of me. And he just grabbed my head like this. My head is right here. He just grabbed my head like this and just went like this for like 5 minutes. And I was thinking, this really sucks, but Eventually,
5 minutes, like literally
seriously,
5 minutes.
seriously 5 minutes.
Oh gosh.
And I was thinking, he'll get tired. He's exerting a lot of energy right now.
Right.
He'll get tired eventually, and
I'll relax.
then I'll submit him. Yeah, I'll just relax because I mean, it sucked. It was super painful. I have like bruises all over my calves just from how aggressively he was like yanking my legs apart.
Wow.
I was like, I'll just weather the storm, and then I'll take his back, and I'll tap him out. And that never happened. The match ended with him saying he was going to throw up because he was exerting so much, and me feeling like I didn't want to be thrown up on.
Right.
And also recognizing that even if it had gone on longer, he probably still would have found a way to beat me because he's just so much stronger. So,
And I don't think that bodily fluid is a good. That's not a legal means for a tap out in
No.
MMA, is it?
no.
Yeah, I don't think you can. As a matter of fact,
No,
don't you get disqualified?
Yeah, it's just a DC.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
You should have weathered the storm. I mean,
I know.
at least you could have come
I
on and
know.
say, "Hey, I won."
Yeah,
but-
I didn't. He literally just held me there for 5 minutes, and yeah.
And it
just
wasn't even gentle.
It wasn't gentle at all, and it was just embarrassing because I was like, this should be like where I shine. But instead, he stepped into my shine and took it.
Right.
He took my shine.
He took your shine.
He took my shine.
How's your stand up?
My stand-up is, I would say it's definitely better than his, but so Daniel actually, I was talking to Daniel about this because it kind of messed with me a little bit. It's one of the only things I'm kind of proud of and like moderately competitive in, is like martial arts. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is something I do and I love, this is like my thing.
Yeah.
And so I was just feeling kind of down. I was like, man, Dillon hasn't trained in a long time and he just kicked my butt. And Daniel was like, well, if it was MMA, you'd probably kick his butt. But like just how dominant he was in wrestling, he would have completely neutralized any tools I had standing up by just taking me down, holding me on my back, and hitting me in the face. So, Dillon, I wanted to come here and defend myself, but ultimately, Dillon would smash me.
Oh, wow.
And that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. It's going to make you stronger, right? Because you got to go over and you got to strengthen these tools.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm going to start rock climbing with him now, which is
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
He actually gave me a pair of shoes. I think just as kind of like hey, man, I'm sorry for kicking your butt and making you feel bad.
What weight class do you fight in?
I was fighting at 155.
Uh-huh.
I kind of want to go up higher, especially for amateurs.
Yeah.
I just want to get bigger anyway,
Yeah.
and I don't feel like cutting all that weight, so I'm thinking around like 170.
Yeah. So where do you like, how much you weigh right now?
Close to 170.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm probably like 165.
Okay. And so what about this guy that you're fighting? Similar weight, or is he bigger than
Dillon?
you? Yeah.
He's same size.
Same
yeah,
size.
he's taller, but he's the same weight. And
Yeah.
just 100% muscle though. I'm not there yet where I'm like just
Yeah.
shredded up and no fat. And he is.
Yeah.
And he just has like he has like that farm boy strength. Like he's like farm boy old man strength.
Well, yeah, because he's the climbing,
The
right?
climbing
That's
and the
all,
wrestling.
like, yeah.
It's a bad combination.
Yeah.
It's a great combination for him, but for me it sucks.
So what kind of takedowns? I'm sorry, I'm going way deep into technique and stuff because I just like fighting. But what kind of takedowns does he use? He's like single leg.
He was
double
getting me
leg?
with single legs a lot. He's just got such a strong grip, and my hips would be a little too close, and he would immediately just snag me behind the knee
Right.
and suck my leg up under him, and I couldn't get it out. There was like one time that I sprawled and actually got my leg away from him, but the rest of the time he pretty much just like had his way. And
Yeah.
even if I reversed something, he was just immediately on another takedown. He's just like attack. And that's one of the reasons I hate like training with. I mean, I love training with wrestlers,
Right.
but at the same time, it's the most frustrating thing because that's not at all how I fight or
Right.
how I grapple or whatever. I'm a lot more like reserved, and I'm just kind of looking for openings and stuff and moving a little bit slower, a
Right.
little more patient. But he's just constantly just
Yeah.
laying that pressure on thick, and I can't handle it.
It's almost like like training. I'd imagine like having a balance of like kind of like stroking your ego in some
Yeah.
areas and then getting your butt whooped.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh,
so
it's
you can-
important. Yeah.
so you grow, but you don't get. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm quitting.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, exactly. I think a majority of my training is getting my butt kicked. There are a couple guys that have come in and have stroked my ego a little bit, but they're like guys that don't train.
Yeah.
Everybody in my gym, maybe not everybody,
Yeah.
probably everybody in my gym.
Don't sell yourself short.
Knock me out.
Yeah.
I've had some close encounters there with guys that like I did not think would be able to do the things to me that they did to me.
Right.
There's my first day going in there. Actually, I had done a couple solo sessions with Rick, the head coach at Sick Jitsu, and he was like, "Hey, I want you to start coming to the pro class." I was like, "Okay, all right." He sees a lot of potential in me, I guess. I guess I got what it takes. Okay, and
Get my butt kicked by
to
pros.
get my butt kicked, and I had no idea, like just the difference in competence and ability. Like I didn't know that people could be that much better.
Mm-hmm.
But I went into the pro class my first day, and this guy walks in, and he's got a gym bag and stuff, and he looks like he's like 35. He was kind of dirty and stuff. He looked like a scrub. I thought, thinking back on it, I was like, he obviously isn't a scrub. I hope he never sees this. He'll hurt me again. But
He'll find you.
His name's Dave Kershane.
Hashtag.
I didn't know who he was at the time, and he was like, "Hey, you want to spar?" And he's like a super nice, like friendly guy, and I was like, "Yeah, I want to spar." Like, Rick wants me here. Hey, I want to spar.
I didn't teach you a lesson, old
Yes,
man.
old man.
Oh my god.
Who do you think you are? I'm one of the newest up and comers. Like you're gonna see me in the UFC so soon.
You're in the pro class.
I was in the pro class. Yeah,
Yeah,
first
I was
day? First
feeling
time?
I was feeling myself. I was like, oof.
Can't wait.
Big-
Show this guy. What's
Big
up.
shot. Yeah, so I strap up, I'm ready to go. And he just opens up our sparring session by kicking me in the face. And literally, I felt my teeth move. I had a mouth guard, thankfully, but I felt my teeth like shift in my face, and like he just caught me square because like he threw it, and I turned into it because I didn't know what I was doing, in spite of being in the pro class. And
For the very first time.
for the very first time, and he kicked me in my face, and I was like, "Oh my god, that sucked."
Right in your face.
That sucked right in my face. And he just starts like opening up with all these crazy combinations and stuff, and I was like, I don't know how to do any of the things you just did. and he just keeps hitting me over and over and over again, and then finally he catches me right in my breadbasket, my liver.
Ooh.
And I had never taken a legit liver shot before, and it was the most excruciating thing. I'd been hit in the face a lot, but getting hit in the liver, it dropped me. So I was like, okay, I'm done. Ooh. And I dropped to the floor. It was a controlled drop. Like it wasn't just like "Grrr." It was like
It wasn't
okay.
like a slow-mo, complete backward
Yeah,
fall?
no, it was like okay, I'm done. and I guess I found out after the fact that he does this to a lot of the new guys just to kind of vet them and be like, hey, you actually in it for the long haul. If you're not, then,
welcome to the pro class.
yeah, like this is what MMA is. Like you get hurt and stuff, and people punch you hard. And so I dropped to the floor, and he's like, you got to keep going. And I was like, what? And he's standing up, and he just pops me in the face while he's standing up. And I was like, oh, shoot. So I go to my back, and I pull guard, and he's going for submissions, and I'm fighting him off and stuff. So I'm feeling better about that. But then he stands up just like super fast and stacks my legs up over my head. So I'm laying on my back. My legs are up here, and he is just fully postured up, literally has his hand up in the air like this, and just brought it down on my stomach like three times. And there are other guys there. There's this guy, his name's Chance Haskins, super nice dude. I trained with him a lot after this. He was like, dude, he's hurt. Like, what are you doing? Stop. Yeah, so that was the end of that. I left that day thinking that I would probably never do MMA and I would never go back. But then I went back and got my butt kicked a lot.
How long did it take you to go back?
Oh, I went back immediately.
Yeah.
I went back the next day.
Gets harder the longer you wait, I'd imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. And I still get like butterflies when I go in.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I mean, it's a little bit nerve-wracking. It's like, maybe today is the day that I'm going to get knocked out for the first time.
Get like post-traumatic stress.
Yeah, once I'm in there, I feel a lot more loose and excited and stuff. But like the lead up to actually training, it's like, oh, maybe today will be the day.
Yeah, which, I mean, George St. Pierre, like up until, like he said every time he went in, he was nervous.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's weird.
I would probably counsel people to not. I mean, I've never fought, but well, that's not true. I used to street fight,
Uh-huh.
but never trained.
Yeah.
But I'd imagine, butterflies probably stay. Maybe it gets easier. I don't know, but
You had the butterflies when you were street fighting?
oh, anytime. I mean, I still get butterflies if I know I have to have a confrontation.
Oh, yeah.
Like confrontation is not easy,
Uh-huh.
but it's necessary. So
You have
yeah.
a
I mean,
lot of
I'm nervous.
confrontations?
I don't know about a lot, just because I have a lot of, I got a family at home. I'm raising 6 kids,
Oh,
so I'm
yeah.
not in those type of environments as much as I used to be.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, I have regular confrontations. Like if I have something that happens that I don't like, with a friend of mine, I feel like for healthy relationships, you gotta, for me to honor you, if I have a problem with you, we need to talk about it.
Yeah.
And then
If
punch each other? Or wait, is that not part of it?
Well, I mean, when I was a teenager,
Who's
it
to say?
was. I haven't punched anybody in a long time. I've
Yeah,
almost
that's
been
fair.
punched a couple times, but through confrontations with people that
your
they
kids.
haven't learned the technique yet of not dealing with it with physical violence.
I was going to say, I don't really
Yeah.
feel butterflies, but the feeling I would describe is like, when an alligator has clamped down on something and it starts rolling?
Mm. You feel like the alligator or the person that's been clamped down?
The
on?
alligator.
You feel like the alligator.
I was trying to,
He's a beast.
it's like macho butterflies.
Okay.
I was
I
gonna
don't-
say.
yeah, you
I
feel-
feel butterflies. You're just talking about alligators clamping
you
down
have,
on stuff.
You have an alligator rolling in your tummy?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, rolling
That's so
around in my
much
tummy.
worse than butterflies.
I feel like
know.
you know,
It was
so
supposed
much
to
worse.
sound cooler, but I don't know if it actually
The
does.
feeling I get is like a starving lion, someone dangling a steak in front
Yeah,
of,
yeah.
and I'm letting the cage open
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Yeah.
the lion out.
Yeah.
Blah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
In my stomach, it's like the same thing, but like Arnold Schwarzenegger is riding on the lion,
oh yeah,
and he has like a bunch of guns and
Yeah.
stuff. And
Dude, yes.
there's like a tribe of Amazon women following him.
Is he holding an American flag?
Obviously.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah, because he's American.
That really, obviously.
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
course.
Yeah.
yeah, and he
Are we
has to
still
drop
with that?
some
Okay.
awesome Arnold Schwarzenegger line.
Oh yeah.
He had to split.
What
What happened to Kelly? He had to split, and there's 2 halves of his body laying there.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I don't
those
know
are-
if- is that a reference?
Oh
to-
yeah.
Oh man, I
yeah.
don't know any Schwarzenegger
Oh
references.
man, yeah. One time he's like holding some guy off of a cliff. I don't know which movies,
Yeah, I lose track.
And he comes back, and the girl's like, "What happened to Freddie?" I let him go. He was known for it. They were
Yeah.
great. Like
Oh,
you're
man.
watching the
Yeah.
Arnold movie, waiting for this corny little
Yeah.
line.
And then
know?
you have to clap. That's why I clapped. It's because you have to clap.
I didn't. Wow, that's a new rule. I didn't know about the clapping.
I clap watching Paul Rudd.
Dude, Paul Rudd's the best.
He is the best.
Yeah. See, clapping gave me butterflies. So I would appreciate it if we don't do that anymore.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So just
Can we golf clap?
to honor the confrontational topic.
Is that golf?
Is that golf clapping? I don't even know.
I think
Or is it
that's
like-
just that's slam poetry.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
They don't do
Like,
that.
dude, that poetry's
Can you
just
imagine
slang.
guys like at a golf game match? It's like,
Golf game.
I'm too emotional for that kind of stuff, man. Don't give
Golf?
me rules to how I respond to art and like awesome things.
oh, I've seen you.
Yeah.
When the music's on.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no telling what you're gonna do.
Exactly. And I don't tone it. I don't tone it down for anybody. That's a deal.
You'll be in between like 60-year-old women, like just on all sides, and you're just getting it.
And that's where a lot of
Throwing
confrontations
elbows.
happen.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess to go back, I have unintentionally hit many people, even recently.
Oh man,
I actually met my wife by hitting her
that's
on
awesome.
the dance floor.
You were hitting on her.
Wait a minute.
Like-
That's how she tells the story. Just for the record, she hit me. She was,
Okay. Okay.
in the way of my elbow.
She got so in your head that you remembered the story, how she tells it.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
marriage
And
right
I just
there.
agreed with
That
it, which is
absolutely-
on the air,
that's
not how
marriage.
it
You're
happened.
right.
Okay, she got in the way of my elbow
Mm-hmm.
and fell in love with me, basically.
Yeah.
Short story.
That's a beautiful
You must
story.
have a cute elbow.
I ran my wife over snowboarding.
Did you?
So, yeah.
Is that how you met her? Or-
No, but it's just that was like the first time that we touched.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
my god.
Crash.
I plowed into her and she flew up over my head.
Wow.
It was great.
Love.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And like,
Did you
I
plan
just see
that?
this slow motion, like,
yeah.
Your eyes meeting.
The entire time we're like, oh,
which
wow.
is probably not at all what it was.
She's so beautiful and she touched me.
She probably got butterflies.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Johnny Sonlin was there.
Oh.
He saw it all happen.
That's so great.
We were like 14. It was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you and Johnny pretty close?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been buddies for a long time.
It happens, man.
Yeah, happened. The voice cracks?
Yeah.
Yeah, they happen to me.
I don't know why, but it's like mostly when I'm podcasting.
Oh, they happen to me all the
I'll
time.
be like,
Yeah, I'm not fully convinced I've hit puberty yet.
Wow.
there's two. There's
Two.
two. So you have to hit second puberty.
Oh, okay.
When you
Yeah,
hit
maybe that's
second
what I'm
puberty,
going
you'll
through.
probably go back and whoop some people up.
I'll probably beat Dillon up, yeah.
You'll wake up and you'll just have a beard, like
That'll
a
be
full
awesome.
beard, and you'll be like, "What just happened?" Second puberty.
So this grapevine maneuver or whatever, am I saying that right?
Yeah, grapevine.
So does he has to have the hooks in right,
Yeah.
to have that move on you?
Yeah.
And then he wraps them probably around the calves too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
is he an octopus actually?
He's actually not. Well, he does yoga and stuff.
Oh my
He's-
gosh.
He's just such an active guy, and watching him rock climb it's insane because
Yeah, I've seen some clips, man.
he's just so controlled, and he's able to just do things with like stick his leg like way up here and his arms and stuff. Like my shoulder range of motion isn't even close to his, so my legs certainly aren't.
So
it's
yes, he's an
ridiculous.
octopus.
He's an octopus.
Wow, with only four.
Yeah, it's
Is he just wearing like human skin? Like,
I'm not
okay,
sure
this
if
is-
he
yeah,
even
this
has
is-
human skin.
We should probably bring him in
alligator.
and dissect him or something.
Yeah.
Find out
on
what's inside.
Yeah.
camera?
Yeah, if his skin lets
your
us
table
do that.
isn't-
It's
probably,
pretty.
like,
Yeah, it's pretty
You need a
graphic.
bigger
Skin would
table.
probably grab a knife and like jab
Yeah.
us with it.
Like, hey, what are you doing?
Like,
I don't know if he watched this. I don't know how he would feel
I
about.
don't know. Let's
me
tag him
saying-
in it and find out.
Yeah,
So,
I
lot of
basically
smack
just
talk.
said he was an alien or something.
Yeah.
wow.
Well, it's not smack talk though. It's just praise. We're just praising him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're saying that he's so competent, we don't even understand how he's human.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a
Which
compliment.
I think is great. I mean, I feel like there's, it's cool to have Jonathan. He's going through this humbling process in life. And, I was ready for him to come on and be like, yeah, man. He added submissions and dude
Nope.
is not going to do that anymore. But,
No. And he's also super handsome.
Yeah,
which
he's
is-
a beautiful man.
He is so.
Really?
Oh man, he's just an all-around stud.
Who
And
is this guy?
Very charismatic.
yeah, super,
to meet him.
super, like goofy, but goofy too.
Yeah, he doesn't take himself too serious, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you should have him on.
If I was single,
Wow.
I don't know.
All right.
Wow. Man, I just did not expect it, Last week was like, he's a wrestler. And now he's like,
He's just a god.
he's a macho man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a Greek god.
He's a Greek god.
Yeah,
Where do we go from here?
dude, I don't even remember. Like,
Should we talk about music at some point?
yeah, that was the idea.
Like for the whole
It's
podcast?
been a
Like
bit of a
sound
tangent.
mind, the idea
Yeah.
is to talk about music. Not just for today. but-
I think we had actually set aside time in our minds so that we could call Daniel out. But based on that introduction,
right.
Just call him and be like, hey.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be
sorry.
backed over
Yeah.
under the bus
No.
4 more times,
Hey Daniel, do you remember how you said I could beat him at submissions?
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Right, yeah,
I couldn't
yeah.
do it.
We'll have to have Jonathan back in like 6 months and be like, all right, man.
Yeah.
Give us
Yeah.
an update.
Yeah, maybe in 6. Oh man, it would take so long to get at his level.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where's that guillotine at when he goes for the takedown?
he's just hips over on the opposite side, so it doesn't happen. I used to get stuck in that position a lot actually, where I'd go for a guillotine.
Yeah.
And then my arm would end up trapped because someone would get their hips over, and that's just the worst feeling. So I stopped going for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
so last week we talked about Christian movies with Daniel,
Yes.
and you expressed some interest. You really like Christian movies, right?
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah.
Especially Fireproof.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
It's my Fireproof.
Oh, it's really Fireproof. Okay.
Fireproof's my favorite.
Yeah.
Actually, no, there are some good Christian. There's a what was it? I think I watched October Baby when I was like 16.
I don't know that one.
That's
And
a
I-
Christian movie? Oh, wait,
Yeah.
October Baby.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
it's a pro-life movie.
Yep.
I
remember.
thought it was really beautiful until my
Nice.
mom bought it for me for Christmas. But there was a this. I actually hate Christian movies. I hate them so much.
Yeah, I felt like the sarcasm came through for me, but I was just
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate them. But there was something that happened that kind of sealed the deal on my distaste for Christian movies.
Take
Maybe
us
I
back.
shouldn't say hate.
Yeah, take us back
Can
to
I
that
just
moment.
I just
Jonathan.
real quick? Let me interject real quick because there's
Yeah.
some Christian movies I love, so I want to shout them out real quick. The Matrix. Okay,
Yeah.
number 1. Braveheart. too.
Yep, beautiful.
Lord of the Rings.
Mhm.
Okay.
yeah.
Happy Feet.
Yep. that's
Happy
another one.
Feet.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Happy Feet is
Robin
about
Williams
a revolution of
speaks to me.
freedom,
Yeah.
transforming the people.
That is not how I interpreted that.
We
We'll
gotta
have that
watch it again.
conversation
Yeah,
another time.
We'll have to watch it again. Anyway,
Yeah,
sorry,
beautiful
not
film.
to cut you off, but I just wanted to plug some Christian movies.
Yeah, no, that's great. I love all of this. Well, actually, Happy Feet. I'm not.
That's all right.
Not a
man.
huge fan of Happy
That's
Feet.
all right.
You said we could disagree on
Oh
things.
yeah,
and-
absolutely.
Yeah, it's
But
all right.
you're wrong. But
It's
yeah, we can disagree.
No, I'm right that I don't like it.
Right.
I'm right that I don't like it.
But Happy Feet 2.
I'm not saying
man.
it's a bad movie. I'm just saying I don't like it.
Happy Feet 2 was about what the revolution awoke.
I
in the
didn't watch that
deep.
one because I so severely disliked the first one.
Okay,
It was good though. Okay, so I was like, I was like 16 years old, and I was going through a weird little teenager phase, where I was just being a goober and stuff, and I was going through like this whole faith crisis,
Yeah.
or whatever, and just trying to sort things out, but being kind of a butthole in the process. You're gonna have to censor that.
Aren't we
Sorry.
all? Aren't we all
Yeah.
buttholes?
Say butthole. on the show.
I was being a butthole in the process. And it was, I think it was for my birthday. My grandma, it's another person I hope doesn't see this podcast. She bought me these t-shirts that were just Christian movie t-shirts to like encourage me in my faith. There was a movie. It was
Sorry.
it was like a Christian police department movie or something like that. Do you remember that one?
Oh,
Wait, is it a Christian movie about a police
Yeah,
department, or was it
yeah.
a Christian police department?
It was a Christian movie about a police
that
department.
Okay,
was
'cause
the
the
one
Christian police
after
department doesn't-
Fireproof, I think.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called. Same guys, right?
Yeah.
Did that, yeah.
Yep. So she got me a shirt that had like a bunch of scripture and stuff, and the name I can't remember what it was called.
Ah,
But so she got me all these Christian shirts, and that's why I hate Christian movies, because the shirts are terrible.
yeah.
That checks out.
I mean, yeah, and that goes beyond Christian movies.
Mm.
There are some bad Christian shirts.
Really bad ones.
Yeah.
I love the ones that are like spoofs.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the best.
Oh, so when I met my wife, she had a shirt that says, "I know Jesus." This is really bad, but this is what the shirt said: "Is I know Jesus, He's my gardener," or something. It's like
Oh,
this,
gosh.
yeah, this
Oh,
like
gosh.
racist shirt, and she had no faith in Jesus, and she didn't have a garden or a gardener.
Oh,
it
man.
was,
So it was really
She was
misleading.
so she was just racist.
yeah,
that's all it
she's
was?
not racist
Okay.
either. She just,
Okay.
I think,
Okay.
like the she
Does
likes
she watch
to
this?
be funny. I hope not. This is bad because like we want people to watch it, so we keep on saying, "I hope so and so doesn't see." it."
I just hope
Yeah.
that Dave Christian and my grandma don't see it.
Wow.
She's gotten me plenty of good shirts since then.
My wife is not racist, for the record, but she did have funny shirts. Let's move on.
I was talking about the one that's like says Mountain Dew or whatever, but it doesn't say Mountain Dew. It's like the logo, but then it says something stupid like "Be a Christian." You
Right.
idiot.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because we all
I
need
went
those.
the opposite way with it.
Yeah,
She had a
like the
atheist shirt. Atheist racist.
Or like,
Jesus.
You just completely went in the wrong
oh
direction.
man, yeah, like a band T-shirt, but instead of the band name, it has some Christian verse or something. And it says like something on the back
He
about
lives.
being a good boy or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
And it's like, just follow Jesus. TM.
Yeah, there's some cool. So with that, like, I think there's some cool Christian clothes too. I like the hymn clothes. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It just says hymn.
I just think of the villain from Powerpuff Girls. That's him, right?
Maybe
Him. It's like
Powerpuff Girls.
cross-dressing Satan.
it's another
Which
Christian
that could be a
show
whole
that's-
podcast on itself. I feel like talking about him is like, and I love Powerpuff Girls, but anyway.
Yeah, great. So anyway,
probably
the
should have
hymn,
admitted that.
it's HIM, and the I is like inside the word. First of all, it looks good, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, fashion should look good. Movies should be good and look good, and music should sound good.
Where is that written, Stevie? Where is that written?
It's-
Show it to me in the Bible.
It's a given.
It
Yeah.
really is.
Wow.
Sorry.
It should be the best, you know. Anyway, it's cool looking, and it's not it's not imposing. You know what I mean? Like trying to.
Yeah.
It does, like we talked about last week about agendas.
Yeah.
Like a lot of Christian movies have agendas.
Kind of try hard.
Like preaching from the movie, right? Like, first of all, just for anybody making Christian movies, non-Christians don't want to watch Christian movies.
Yeah.
So you're preaching the gospel to Christians.
Who are already Christians.
Already Christians, right? So, like, we need to make movies. We need to make movies that are actually for people who aren't believers.
I agree.
Yeah, that's great.
It
Yeah, that's a
reminds me
great
of,
idea.
and this is bad, but it totally is true. So let me just start at the beginning. I watched a Flat Earth documentary a few days ago, and it reminded me of, like, because they talked a lot about confirmation bias, and it reminded me of Christians so much because it's like we surround ourselves with the things that reinforce what we already believe. And like when it comes to music or movies or anything, we just cut everything out that doesn't like already reinforce what we believe.
Right.
And I think that there's an element of that is in denial of the fact that other people exist, which kind of goes against the whole gospel, because the whole point is that you're supposed to surround yourself with people and love them.
Right. And you're not going to grow.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it reminds me of like Jonathan sharing. I mean, he could go to his gym and focus on the one thing that he's really good at. Maybe like there's one thing like he's better than most everybody at. And he could focus on that and stroke his ego the whole time and just reinforce it's like, I am super MMA guy, right? Or he can, you know, make sure that he grows in that and get his butt whooped, right? So that he can grow in those things that don't come easy. And that's the thing, is like, we need that for us to grow. You have to, I think about manure as a reference. Like manure helps grow fruit, right? Grow trees, grow.
You wouldn't want to eat the manure.
Yeah. No, but you got to go through some crap if you want to grow some fruit.
Right.
You know, if you want to be stronger, if you want to grow in character, you're going to have to go through some crap, right? It's actually good for you.
I think there's a good analogy there.
Yeah.
Because you really don't want to eat the manure. You really don't.
Right.
But you have to expose the thing that you want to eat to the manure to grow it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Because you want the dim fruits. You know
See,
what
now
I'm saying?
that would be a cool Christian shirt, I think.
You want them fruits?
Right?
Not to poops. To fruits, not to poops.
Yeah, I don't know how that.
Some cursive lettering.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking more about the
Philippians?
manure.
4:12. I don't even know what the
Crap
verse that is.
happens.
Crap happen. Yeah. It's interesting though, the whole confirmation bias. I've seen it a lot in like people my age that are so afraid of like surrounding themselves by things that encourage them in their faith that they surround themselves by things that do the opposite. Because they're so afraid of like becoming the status quo Christian.
Oh wow.
They end up kind of falling away from it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's weird. I think it's good to like expose yourself to new things and things that kind of make you, you know, question, you know, your maybe not your beliefs, but just, you know, kind of where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But community is also so important. Like
Yeah.
Jesus surrounded himself with he had his 12 guys.
Yep.
You know,
Dim boys.
that was his community.
Yeah.
The prostitutes and stuff, they weren't his community. These
Yeah,
are the
he's
these are the
ministering
people
to
that
them.
he loved.
Yeah.
You know, and you can't.
Some of them eventually.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, and that's the hope.
Yeah.
But he didn't just like start off his community. Like those weren't his core people that were like encouraging him. You know.
Yeah.
And so people they're so afraid of, I don't know, just becoming, I don't know, what they see their parents being or whatever, or just being boring or whatever. They expose themselves to all this crazy stuff in hopes that they'll have like a unique perspective on their faith and Christianity. But then it's just like,
Right.
Yeah.
it just kind of gets out of hand, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's a good point. See, because I don't know if I've ever thought about that. Yeah. Yeah, community. Authenticity, being around authentic
Yeah.
people, you know, that can encourage you, but also are going to, I mean, one of my favorite things to do is to lead people. I think for me, I know I have a high value on freedom, and I know that part of being free is learning how to deal with uncomfortable situations.
Yeah.
Or like you were, you know, getting whooped on.
Yeah.
Like that's not comfortable, but you know, like that's the means to getting better. So I like to, and because I'm in the, you know, music is a big part of my life. Like there's performance and like you have to push yourself out of places that eventually you have to show somebody your song and all these kind of things.
Yeah.
It's so important that I love to lead people into uncomfortable situations because I know it's going to be the best thing for them.
Yeah.
It's you're applying stress, and when you apply stress, you either crumble under the weight, or you have to be able to overcome the stress.
Right.
You tear and grow. It's
Yeah.
like exercising.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and Jesus, the 12 guys, they had 3 years. And even in the 3 years, they were doing all the stuff, right? And then afterwards, like, okay, now you go multiply the church.
Yeah.
So if we've been in the church for 20 years and we've never talked to somebody about, or, had a conversation or, like, I don't know, giving someone a sandwich, whatever it is, like we haven't exposed ourselves outside of the four walls. Like there's something wrong with that, and you're actually creating your safety bubble, and you're not. I don't know what you call it.
Yeah,
but it's a scary place to
not
be.
Really
actually,
of much use.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not really. Your world is actually. It's not. You're not living in a reality that's.
Yeah. I really need to expose myself. I was holding on to that one for way too long. But I forgot what I was going to say. There's something probably really important, and it would have completely blown your guys' minds. Wow. No, it was...
Man.
Dang. You almost were brilliant.
Almost. I think what has always been really fascinating to me is the disciples going through what they went through. The only reason it worked was because they had buy-in on some level.
Yeah.
Because... you have like the "get behind me, Satan" moments where Jesus is calling out. I think it was Peter, right?
Yeah,
Peter. And he called him Satan. And the only reason he didn't just be like, "Dude, why did you just call me that? I'm so done with you. I'm done with your crap. I'm leaving."
You're supposed to love me, Jesus.
Right. The only reason he didn't respond that way was because he had bought in on some level, and he understood what he was going for. Like he knew who Jesus was, and he was like, it wasn't name calling, right? And but if he had not bought in, right, because you're talking about community, surrounding yourself with not perfect people but strong people that had bought in. So if he had not bought in, he would have been done. Like he would have just left and been like, "I'm so sick of this crap." He's putting on his backpack. "Oh, you guys are calling me names, calling me Satan. Well, I'm gonna get behind you. I'm gonna get behind you right now. Check me out." And then he would just walk off.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think like I said, I think authenticity is such an important factor,
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm around a lot of different types of people, a lot of different ages, and authenticity is like, it's something that you can kind of spot pretty quick in a person, whether they are a believer or not. And I think it's also how, the different generations are able to communicate like together. Like older generations are able to communicate with younger, like they find a way to relate to each other because, being authentic is, you're not trying to put on something, right, that isn't real and act it out.
Yeah.
You really want to become like Jesus, and know the truth. And so it's like,
Yeah, it's so funny because that's why the term Christian came about, is because you're taking on his name, so your actions are reflecting him. That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But they felt, the early Christians felt like they were up to the task. And so I frequently wonder that. I'm like, are we up to the task?
well, yeah. Christians. Does that mean Christ-like or follower? I can't remember, or both, maybe. I can't remember.
I don't remember the exact original term.
Yeah, I think I
But
want
yeah.
to say Christ follower. Which is interesting with the disciples. Like immediately, Jesus is like, "Hey, follow me." Like there's a decision to make. I'm not asking you to believe anything right now. Follow me. But they knew like something's up with this guy, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they follow him home once, a couple of the guys? And he was like, "Why are you following me?" And they're like, "Well, we want to see what you're going to do next." And he was like, "I'm going home to my house.
Go take
Like,
a nap.
you guys need to go home as well."
Yeah,
And because that was before he had started his, I don't know if crusade kind of has a negative connotation, but before he had started his whole...
That was Muhammad.
Yeah.
That was Muhammad.
But before he had started his ministry in earnest.
There you go.
We are so off topic.
So bad.
But it's so good.
Yeah.
I'm digging it. Should we get on topic or should we just keep talking?
I don't know. So Christian movies, that's where we started this from. Did you have a story to tell about a Christian movie? You
Oh,
said
it was
you had
just the shirts.
Oh, the shirts. Okay.
Yeah, it was just the shirts.
Yeah.
That sealed the deal for me on disliking Christian movies.
Yeah, but we love your grandma.
Movies. I love my grandma.
Yes. Just not the
Actually, I
shirts.
call her Nana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nana Dempsey.
Love you, Nana.
Awesome.
Love you, Nana.
My kids call my mom Nana.
Love
too.
you, Nana.
So, I mean, I think
Just show her that part.
just to
Yeah,
kind of
definitely.
summarize some, I think it's a lot like, when I was a kid, there was a group of kids that had Nike shirts, right? And in middle school, they were the jock kids and, their parents had money. But if you had a shirt with a Nike swoosh on it, you were treated a little bit different, in middle school when I was growing up. And so it'd just be like, I'm going to throw a Nike shirt on. I don't play sports and I don't really know what it's about. And just so I can be in this group, that's what I feel like a lot of that stuff is. And it can go either way, whether it's in Christian realms or, I'm going to put a Jesus fish on because that's what we do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm the coolest.
Now, if you really like a Jesus fish and you want to, rep that and you own it, do it.
Yeah.
But
What is going on? Oh, it's that woman. I'm just gonna.
There you
Call
go.
you back shortly.
You're good.
so,
Hopefully it's not important.
yeah, I don't know. Should we segue?
Yeah, we'll segue however we can.
Yeah.
Watch me segue. I don't have a follow-up. It's just that.
That's pretty good.
Thanks.
That was really good. Yeah.
It was actually top tier.
It was a savage segue.
Yeah, thanks, man. The whole thing that we were planning on doing,
Right.
the important thing,
Yeah.
which now seems less important
Right.
after this conversation,
Yeah.
was we wanted to talk about, we wanted to do something we've always talked about doing, which is go into a song in depth.
Yeah.
We can't really play the song
Correct.
because we will be in trouble.
Oh, that is such a bummer.
It really is.
I was looking forward to listening to that
because
song.
I wanted to do that,
It's a
but
great
I
song.
don't see a way that we can.
We can have a link.
Yeah,
People
so
can listen to it.
and everybody's probably heard it. It's Sunflower. I don't know if it's a joint song with, I don't even know how you say his name, Swaley? Sway?
Sounds right.
Swaley and Post Malone. I don't know if they wrote it together or if it's Post Malone's featured. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it doesn't. If I remember right, it doesn't say feature. It looks like just both their names are on it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great song. It's in the top 40. I think it was actually 3.
We're
The
nice.
3rd spot when I checked.
I thought
a little bit
that
ago.
it would be good because we've spent a lot of time bashing in top 40 hits and pop culture.
Yeah.
So Justin and I thought it'd be a good idea to start with one that we like, and so you guys know that we don't hate all pop music or
Yeah.
all top 40 hits,
Yeah. 'Cause
just most of them.
Really early on, we were like, we don't hate pop music, but then all that we've done is rip on it. We haven't really.
Yeah.
But I think this is a good example of a song that we do like that I think displays the good elements of pop, right? It's very emotional. It gets to the point very quickly, and it conveys what it wants to convey. But it has some really cool, interesting twists. So I don't know how we wanted to do this. I wanted to go through song structure, lyrics.
Yeah.
So maybe let's start with song structure.
Yeah.
I enjoy the song structure because it's a little bit different.
It's different.
It's a little weird.
Yeah, it doesn't fit the pop culture, pop song mold.
Yeah, it has a cool flow to it. I like the new kind of more laid back thing that's happening because a couple of years ago, every song had to be getting pumped. Oh, it had to be big and it was just really, but now it's we're getting into some more chill stuff. I like that. I like,
Says the post-hardcore metal loving fanatic.
yeah,
over
I know.
there.
What the heck?
I just love chill music.
I love some music. No, it's weird because more recently I've pretty much only been listening to really ambient stuff.
Oh,
I've
I
been
like that
listening.
stuff.
Yes, there's a band I've been listening to called "This Will Destroy You."
That sounds really mellow,
It-
ambient.
But it's
yeah.
their genre is the origin of worship music, It's actually a really interesting story of how that happened. But there's like this whole genre of ambient rock that Worship stole. So yeah, I can talk more about that at another time.
That's kind of cool. I've never.
It really is. So I was listening to it yesterday, and my wife comes in, and she's like, "This sounds like worship music without the worship part, like the lyrics and the vocals and stuff." I was like, "Yeah, it's because like this is where it comes from, you know." But anyway, we can go into that either another episode or just after this
the
podcast.
original hymnals were actually taken from like bar.
I said that too. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
really popular tunes, like bar songs and stuff. Yeah. And they just
So
applied
the chord progressions and the way they played those original hymnals when they're on piano was
Yeah,
Those
and,
must have
and now
been
it's
lit back
about
in the day.
you know what I'm saying? Those church services, woo.
Just cracking bottles over the organ, throwing them back in the crowd.
Yeah.
Man.
love you, Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
What I would get.
love you. Jesus Christ. We love you, Lord. Oh my gosh.
I couldn't resist.
We are so not doing a good job at keeping on track, which is fine.
I think it's Jonathan's fault.
I don't think it is. I really don't think it is.
I'm still.
I don't appreciate you blaming me.
I'm sorry, but I just feel
I like where it's at. So,
I like where it's at.
you know,
too.
if you do blame me, that's fine because this is great.
I'm giving you credit, is what I'm doing.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Pray hands.
Yeah, pray hands.
Hey.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I really dig Sunflower. I really like the song structure. I think it starts and ends in a good place. It doesn't drag on too long. I actually looked up like what the chord progression was. I don't remember. I don't know if that's
They're
important.
all augmented chords.
No,
Nothing.
no, they're not. That I didn't look it up, but I know that's not right. There's not an augmented chord in that song.
Who's to say? I think Sway Lee is the only one that knows.
Me.
Maybe Post.
We could look it up.
You
This
know
is
what?
I'm
He
doing right
does
now.
have this weird thing that shifts on his vocal at one point, and when that note shifts, maybe that creates an augmented tone that. No, probably not.
Probably not. No.
I'm reading that it's in the key of D.
Praise God.
Praise God. It's D, G, E minor, G again.
Wow.
And I think that's it, the whole song.
Wow.
Say it again. D,
G, E minor, G again.
Should we just play a cover of it? real
Yeah,
quick?
just
Should
right
we
now. Well,
cover
actually,
it?
we could get claimed for that.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm not
What
not
if we
even kidding.
change the lyrics and the chords?
Then it would be a
No,
different song.
No, you don't have to change the chords. Cannot copyright a chord progression.
Oh.
Or
Not according to YouTube. That's another story I have to tell you.
You can't copyright a chord
DSUS.
You
is-
can
yeah.
copyright?
Yeah.
you
What?
cannot copyright a chord
Well,
progression.
you can get claims for a chord progression. It's
That
like
is so silly.
this is the first chord of this song that I wrote, so I'm copyrighting you because you used the first same chord.
So they
that
can-
actually happened.
But
I forget the
here's-
YouTuber's
no.
name.
Yeah, but that
Yeah.
it will not hold up though. Is what
It
I'm
won't.
saying.
The problem is it's disruptive.
Okay. Well,
It's
we're
like-
not gonna play it, right?
Yeah, we're not. What was I doing? I was looking up the lyrics probably.
But just for the record, like in the Library of Congress, you cannot copyright a chord progression or a drum pattern.
Yes. The problem is like YouTube is like lawless right now.
Right.
It's like they don't know how to deal with it, so they're just not. They're just like, I don't even know how to deal with this.
Right.
So I'm just
We're just
hands
gonna
off.
respond to everything, so people let us keep making money.
Yeah, it's just automated.
How
But-
much is YouTube worth?
I don't know, but
Bajillions, probably.
Probably. has to be, I
14
mean-
bajillion.
That's quite a few bajillions.
I mean, how just their ability to be able to have all the storage space to keep all that content.
Mm-hmm.
Is,
And a lot of legwork went into YouTube. Like they have to follow laws for every country that they're in.
wow.
Then all the copyright laws are different,
Yeah.
and so they have to keep track of all of it.
Wow.
So you can't just start a YouTube. It takes a lot of time and a lot of work. That's why there's no decent competitor. But
Man.
we're really good at staying on topic. Anyways,
Sunflower.
Sunflower is a song. So I pulled up the lyrics. I don't know how you guys felt about it. I wanted to just go through all the lyrics.
I
Yeah,
really like
can
the
we-
cruise ship part.
Can we
That's
go?
my-
Can we break down the music a little more before we go into lyrics?
Yeah, man.
Because I got some stuff on that.
Yeah, perfect. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
So it's really they're using a lot of like 80s type sounds, like even with the way the drums come in, like you can tell
Yes.
it's like it got a retro sound.
It's like that reverb with that just cuts off.
Yeah, but even the samples that I think that they use are like they're recorded from a time, either that or with a mic that's like a vintage sound. but probably samples. You know what I mean? And then they come in with this like hollowed out sawtooth synth. It's kind of like
the bow,
The chordy one?
that one.
yeah. It's almost like a bass. It's really low, but it's like in the low mid range. At first, you think it's gonna be the bass, but then the bass drops in.
Yeah.
I think when the first verse starts, and you're like, ooh, and so yeah, I love that retro sawtooth kind of synthesizer that they use, and then they got what's going on lyrically. Or not lyrically, but the processing with the vocals and some other things, and the high mid range, is more modern, more current. So it's just cool to mix that retro with the current sound, and it's very creative.
Yeah. I really, the vibe is so unique. Like, I don't really hear a whole lot of songs that remind me of it.
Yeah.
Like, they've got a really cool drum loop that's kind of just going on pretty much the whole song. Doesn't really change a whole lot. It'll like drop out every once in a while to accentuate parts, but it's such a good drum loop. Like, this is not a lame drum loop. This is not a super busy drum loop, but it's like it was crafted. You know what I mean? Like, this wasn't like, okay, I'm gonna do like 16 notes here and do a triplet here. It was like,
it's very simple too.
yeah, it's very simple. It's very like, it's straightforward, but it's like addictive.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but it's like the way, like, so much care was given to how each part of it sounded, and so it has a really cool flow, and it sounds really good.
And I think part of that is like I said, the samples that they use. It's not just the pattern itself, but the sound of the components of the drum loop. They're old, man. It sounds, and not like it's got like an 80s feel. It sounds like drums that weren't even used in hip hop.
Yeah.
Like ever, like almost like an old rock track or something.
Yeah.
But like the pattern's kind of hip hop pattern, but
Yeah. But without being like absurdly busy,
Yeah.
like it's like,
But still full.
yeah, it's very full.
So full.
It's
it
just
doesn't
not
have that,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
Doesn't have that emptiness that some like trap music can have.
yeah. I just now
Like
recognize
dead space.
that to describe something I did emotion
Yeah. No, it makes
as
sense.
though everybody could see what was happening.
We feel
While you were playing the air drums.
I was playing air drums,
Yes.
to clarify. So if you're listening to this,
Yeah.
and then I had a face.
That's the other thing that's really cool about the song too, is like you had mentioned, space, like in trap music. There's quite a bit of space in the music of this song, and then they fill the space. A lot of the elements of the song are being done by the vocals, which is really cool. I love because a lot of intentionality has to go into using vocals like an instrument, and that might sound weird. You think, oh, everybody uses vocals like an instrument. Well, if you take the vocals away and it doesn't sound like a song the same way anymore, then like the vocals are like a huge component, not just lyric wise, but it's filling a lot of space.
Oh,
yeah.
And this, they do that really well. So there's still a lot of space, but they fill it, and the vocals take a large part of that, which that's also, that doesn't happen a lot these days in the pop charts, I feel like.
Yeah.
I also like that they trade spots for the chorus.
Yes.
Like, I think
like
the
that
first
too.
guy is Sway Lee. I think Post
Yeah.
Malone's the guy who does it
yeah.
second time, right?
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that.
Yeah.
So like each one gets a verse and a chorus.
Yeah.
It's
And then
that's really cool.
I think they share the second verse.
Is that at the end?
No, it's before the second chorus comes in.
I mean, at the end of the second verse is what I mean. But
yeah,
is that when they're both?
I want to say like
I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember either now that I listened to it a few different times. But I think there's a verse part, or maybe you call it a bridge. But either way, they before you get to the second chorus, you hear both of them in like a 16-bar phrase. Or
I wonder if that's like a pre-chorus because I think it has the same lyrics as before the first chorus as well.
it might be a pre-chorus.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that there's a part that's not repeated by either guy that they do before you get to the second chorus. So there's a
That could be.
swapping that happens before.
Just pull it up.
Yeah.
Just pull it up.
Well, we'd have to listen to it probably to actually.
Oh, yeah.
Or do you mean
Overseas
lyrically?
trip.
Well, just to be just to like.
Yeah.
Oh, do you already have the?
I do, but we can both have them.
We can both.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. You
Yeah,
don't
we
have
got
exclusive
phones.
rights to the lyrics.
We got 2 phones.
I got two.
I got one for the lyrics. You got one for the lyrics. That's not how it goes.
That's not how it goes, but it's still good.
So yeah, that's what I got for the music piece.
Yeah.
I love this song. It's the only song on the radio right now that I don't hate. Actually, no. There's one by Ariana Grande.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one? Is it God as a Woman? Or?
No, that song's trash.
It really
And
is.
honestly, this song isn't that great either. What is it? It's Leave Your Girlfriend or something like that. Have you heard that one?
I have not.
I haven't either.
It's not a great song, but for some reason
There's something about it you like.
there's something about it. I just groove to it.
Yeah, man.
Uh,
I get that.
and you'll be laughing.
So that's cool. That was a question I was curious because we've never talked pop culture with you. I haven't.
Mhm.
You know, so just that was something I wanted to cover before we got into this, but we didn't have time. So interesting to hear your stance.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I probably listen to too much pop music for the amount of enjoyment that I actually get out of it. There are
Right.
very few things that I find on the radio that I'm like, oh, that tugs on me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But there are some, like, I mean, this song, for example, I wouldn't have heard if I hadn't heard it on the radio.
Right.
Most likely, I mean, it probably would have come up at some point.
Yeah.
But
Because you're a huge Post Malone fan.
huge Post Malone fan.
Oh, yeah.
Love him. Actually, Post Malone has a great voice. And
He really does.
He's
He's got a cool rasp.
Yeah,
it
and
does.
his music feels very real, and I like that. Whereas a lot of, I think we talked about this yesterday,
Mm-hmm. We did.
but just a majority of pop music and rap, especially these days, is just kind of built around, clout and just all this silly stuff. And he has stuff like that
Mhm.
as well, but it's so much more intimate and personal. Like his experiences and the way that he conveys them comes across so much more sincerely than
Yeah.
A lot
And
of other guys.
Yeah, there's a lot more depth to the content.
yeah,
A lot of, I mean, not always, like you said, but
yeah.
he's got some deep content
Yeah.
in some of his tracks.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think a lot of the intimacy that you experience with his music, maybe that's a weird way to put it, but the intimacy that you experience with his music also comes just from his voice, because he has a voice that kind of pulls you in.
Yeah. it
You
does,
know?
Yeah.
It's just he's nice. He's nice. I don't love all of his stuff, but he has a couple songs. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I
don't
agree.
want to admit this to anybody, and I kind of hate that I'm saying it on camera, like where everybody can see this if they want to. They can see that I don't hate Post Malone.
Right.
No, but I agree though. I think that there's something there. I think that he has an artistic mind, and I think that he's very much trying to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like I don't think he's trying to just be
He's
like,
got barbed wire in his head, dude.
yeah. As long as you have a barbed wire tattoo
Yeah.
on your head, it means that you are a good artist.
You are an artist.
And I think
You
that
just are an artist.
You just are.
he's you can tell he cares about the sound. Like he's going for a sound. There's a sound that's Post Malone,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's rare in top 40 right now. I feel like a lot of people are they're trying to make money, or they're singing something that somebody else gave them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's nice when somebody cares about the sound, even if I don't love the sound and I know that they're committed to something.
Yeah.
I still I'm a fan of you as a person,
Yeah.
even if I don't love your music. I'm like, yeah, do that.
Yeah. He has a verse in his song. Sorry, we were like so off.
No, you're good.
Sunflower.
You're good.
He has a verse in his song "Wow" that's on the radio right now, where he just like completely shifts the flow, I guess, of the song. And it's so. Have you heard it?
I have not.
Oh man. Well, you can't really talk about it if you haven't heard it.
I'll
It's so
be
good.
checking
It's
it
so
out,
cool though. It's really really cool, and it's very unique.
Is it like a? I don't know how to explain it. Does he go into like how does it shift?
Just the timing, the timing
just
of
different emphasis?
Yeah. It completely shifts. I'm trying to think of what I can compare it to. It's a lot more. There's a lot more like swing to it,
Yeah.
rather
yeah.
than like
Yeah,
again
straight
trap
quarter.
rappers like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah.
No, I get what you're saying.
It's
You know what I
it's-
mean?
Yeah,
It's
the
it
triplet
kind of
time.
like it
It's
kind of
triplet
like
time.
it kind yeah.
Mhm.
It hits
Yeah.
a little like offbeat. It's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
so
love
you're,
that
you're,
stuff.
You're
I love it.
finding, the subdivisions of the rhythm are in a triplet feel as opposed to the quarter note feel. So the quarter's like boom, cat, boom, cat, boom, cat.
Yeah.
Da, 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 that happens in between where those notes hit.
Yeah.
The boobs and the kecks.
The boobs and the kicks.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Or
Regrets.
like
I have regrets.
6/8 time, you know,
Yeah, I play in 6/8 so often.
because it
love that.
naturally is triplet feel.
Yeah,
You know?
I love shifting from 4/4 to 6/8.
Yeah.
I love that so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, and that's so you can still work the quarter note subdivisions in 6/8 time, but it naturally has that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I can't even think of a song that does that.
So
off
I
the top of my head,
imagine probably something like that's going on in the second verse, which I will be checking out when I leave here.
Check that song out. It's nice.
I'm a
check
fan
you out.
of really good verses
Yeah.
of hip hop artists. So.
Yeah, it's cool stuff. He's a cool guy. Just a cool guy.
Yeah.
Smokes a lot of cigarettes though. So.
Yeah, that's probably where he gets that rasp.
I mean,
Where
how
he
cool
gets the
can
rasp.
Actually, I've thought about that before because I really like artists that have that kind of raspy sound, and it's obviously something that I don't have. Like, how could I cultivate that?
You can. You can.
Smoke cigarettes.
It's a different way of singing. You know, you got to get some of that gravel from
Yeah.
your throat. It's not something you're necessarily born with. I mean, some people probably are more prone to do it when they first start singing, but you can develop it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
I think when you smoke a ton, it just forces you to.
Yeah.
You know?
well, the
but I-
rasp is
Oh,
there.
because
You
you
can't
have
shut it off.
throat cancer. So
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah. But I think
Sing clean.
yeah, but I think you can get it naturally, probably.
Oh yeah. Oh
just
yeah.
by
we'll get
like
you a vocal
shouting,
coach.
just by like shouting a bunch, like "Rah," and just wearing your voice out, and like now I can sing like that.
It's just
Yeah,
that, yeah.
definitely.
There's some. Yeah, there's just some gravel. Yeah, I've done some. There's some techniques you can learn online that teach you how to do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
I'll
you can
check that
play
out.
around with how much you add. You know what I mean? Because you can overdo it to where it doesn't sound natural.
I want to overdo it. That's
Yeah.
what I want. Yeah.
There's a lot of coaching stuff on YouTube.
Just keep kicking.
I know,
the
it's
mic.
like-
it's just
I
right
just-
there.
Don't
hate
even
it so
worry
much.
about
Right there
it.
under
It's
my
got a
feet.
shock mount, so
Yeah,
It's
it's fine.
chill.
it soaks up the.
Nice.
It doesn't go every time.
Right, until you do that.
Yeah, you're right.
It sounds like that.
There's so much music stuff on YouTube, man. Like, it's like if I want to learn something regarding a chord progression, I could just YouTube it. There's
Man.
so many cool dudes on YouTube that know how to do stuff, and you're like, how do I do stuff? And they're like, well, the stuff that you want to do is this is how you do it, and then you just do what they do.
Man.
So
If only I had known. I used to watch like instructional videos a lot on YouTube. I still do for like guitar, but like vocal instruction. When I was probably between the ages of like 14 and 17, I watched them, but I always felt way too uncomfortable to actually like do the exercises in my
I know
house.
what
So
you
I was like,
mean.
well, now I know how to do those things.
when I'm away
Someday
from
when
here-
I live in my own home, I will practice these things. And now I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I still don't do it.
isn't that life just in general? Is
Yeah.
how it works.
When I'm a big kid, I'm
Quit
gonna do
it.
all these cool things.
I think we should quit it. You know, just do it.
Stop it.
Let people
No,
see
for,
you.
yeah,
do-
for
you
real,
know what I
for
mean?
real. No, I'm with you. on
I
that.
think the more like you get comfortable with like who you are, the less you care about what other people are gonna think about it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's still there to some degree for me, but it's way less. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Are we gonna go back to Sunflower, or are we just?
Well, lyrics. I think.
Do
Yeah.
we want to
Such
go over
a deep
each-
song.
I know.
Such
I
so
don't know how
much
much
depth.
time we have left, so let's just dive into the lyrics.
Do we want to go over the individual lines, or do we just want to be like, this is?
What do you think? What do you want to do?
I don't know that I necessarily want to go over like every single line, but I just kind of what I wanted to do is just kind of everybody share their thoughts about like what they think it's about,
Yeah.
what I don't know what
Yeah.
jumps out at you from the lyrics instead of just going over every line.
Cool.
But
Yeah, I think most of what I had to say was more about the music.
Yeah.
So, you know.
yeah. Well, one thing that I was gonna say is I like the way that words are chosen in this song. Like I think there's a really cool, and I say this a lot on this podcast, a cool alliteration. Just the way that they line words up
Yeah.
is really cool. And that's really important, you know, for lines that are really memorable, that like stick in your brain.
yeah.
A good example is basically an entire album by Emery. I think it's called You Are Never Alone or something like that. I don't remember, but that whole album is full of really good alliteration. It's a good example of what I'm talking about. It's just like lines that get in your brain and they stay there because of how they're phrased and like the rhythm of how they're said and stuff. But this song is full of those.
Right.
They don't even care about rhyming so much, but it's just like obeying the rhythm and then like having syllables that are like somewhat the same.
Mm-hmm.
I really like
there's
that.
some flat out parts in the words that just don't rhyme at all. And there's some gutsy stuff done with it, you know. And a lot of there's parts that don't rhyme at all, and then there's parts where they repeat a whole phrase that they said right in another way, like where they say the same thing kind of twice.
Yeah.
Like I can't remember exactly what the lyric is, but you're tired.
There's a few.
Or something about her spending the night, you know, and then he says crash at your place or something, and then
Yeah, it's I'm a wreck, you're a wreck.
yeah, that's said twice, right? From from his perspective, I think, and then that's used again from her perspective, I think.
Yeah.
I actually don't know. I think it's only once, but I could be wrong.
It's only once.
Is it only one?
No, it's twice.
It's twice. I'm just on whoever's side.
That's all right.
But
I just like to be
right.
the right one.
Justin had his phone out, so I thought he was right for a minute.
Yeah.
I was like, well, Stevie.
Sorry,
So
Stevie.
here's
Just for the
thing.
record, I only heard this yesterday, so I'm not ready.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Justin,
so he goes,
Stevie was right.
Yeah, you're right. It's I'm a wreck, you're a wreck, and then he does another 2 lines, and then he goes, I'm a wreck, you're a wreck again.
Yeah. So I mean, that's gutsy stuff, you know. I mean, especially for hip hop artists, because I know you can you just wreck your brain over I can't say that word again because I already said that word, right? And then you have people like, I'm going to say that on purpose. I'm going to use the
4
same exact-
times.
Yeah, right after I didn't rhyme, right? Right after a phrase where I didn't rhyme, you know. So it's gutsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get the impression that there's a lot of really, in a good way, there's a lot of really personal stuff in the song. Like there's things that we're not really supposed to understand.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they've really tried or even wanted to explain any of what the imagery means.
Yeah.
But for instance, like the main line of the song, which is "You're a sunflower,"
Yeah.
like that doesn't really explain what that means, and I like that because
Yeah.
it's just an image that you get,
Yeah.
and it conveys something without it being like. And what I mean by that, is that, you know,
it's felt.
Yeah.
It's felt. Yeah, more than it's not an intellectual thing.
I think just the name of the song too kind of shapes the feeling that you get from the song.
Yeah.
Just the sunflower, you get like this kind of airy, happy
Yeah.
vibe from it.
Yeah.
I appreciate that as well. That's just one more thing I like about the
Yeah.
song. The entire song is just good.
Yeah, and there's no like posturing, you know, like, and that's one thing about a lot of pop that I really don't like is it's always like there'll be a breakup song and there's posturing, and it's like you can't have it both ways, you know. You can't be like, oh, I'm being so vulnerable right now because this happened, and also be like, but actually, like, you're stupid because I'm so awesome, and you're the one that needs to just change your life because I'm awesome.
What's an example of a song like that?
I want to take the easy route and say any song
Any song
that I've ever heard.
Okay.
But a specific example is the one that's like
Sad Boy by Daniel Taylor.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Daniel, sorry.
He's getting his licks in. See, that's a technical fighter looking for his opening.
Yeah, and he was just like, going in for the kill. The one that's like, you're so vain.
Right.
You think the song is about you? It literally is.
Right.
It literally is about the guy.
Yeah.
And you're like, you can't have it both ways. You can't say, yeah, it's dumb. That's
That's
just an example.
hilarious, yeah.
I'd have to think about it to come up with more.
That's a great example.
If you write a
perfect
song,
example.
and in the song you're claiming that you don't care about the person anymore, yet you wrote a whole song about it, you're lying.
Yeah.
You're not over it.
I think
You're
a
not
song,
over it,
a
man.
song that did that well, actually, was a song by Apocalyptica, of all bands,
No.
called I Don't Care, because I think it's unintentionally in that instance, but
Yeah. But still you do.
yeah.
Right?
I mean, I
You
think
wrote
that's
a
in.
song.
Yeah.
You wrote a whole song about it.
I hope that that's on purpose, because otherwise it's just stupid.
Right.
But the impression I get is that he writes the song intentionally. You know, that's the line that you always say when you care is "I don't care."
Right.
Right. But otherwise,
I'm
it's
not
just
gonna allow you to know that you're hurting me right now.
right. Otherwise, it's
that's
just
all that translates to. That's what that means.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what that means.
yeah.
That's what
I
my
hear.
5-year-old does when I send him to the corner. I
Yeah.
don't care. Okay, you will.
I know what's going on in your heart.
It's like
little
in-
5-year-old.
Yeah,
Batman v Superman. Do you bleed? You will.
yeah.
That was a terrible movie.
It really was.
So
we were talking about that
this
earlier.
morning.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Yeah, awful movie.
It's like people waited and waited for this movie.
Their whole life.
Like a live action Batman versus Superman
Come on.
based on a good comic, hopefully, that portrays the ideological conflict between Batman and Superman. Do we have time for this
It was
rant?
just a stupid
I don't know.
montage.
But I do like The Man of Steel. I
a good
think
movie.
in the last like 5 years of DC movies, that's like the only good one.
Shots fired.
I'm just saying that. I think there's some other ones that I would put.
What about Wonder Woman, dude?
I would. Here, I'm gonna say this. I'll put Wonder Woman in the I category. Right, that movie is all right. Like it was one of the better. This is me, but it wasn't. I didn't feel like it was on the Man of Steel level, especially with the writing, like the way they wrote and developed the story. So I was really disappointed in Batman vs Superman because they took their time. I felt like Man of Steel felt like it was.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, throw Batman in there and add all of Justice League. And
Yeah.
like,
And
Yeah.
it's trash.
and it's trash.
I haven't seen Justice League yet.
Is it-
it's
is it
better
good?
than Batman vs Superman.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a lot better.
Okay.
It's on for me. It's on the Wonder Woman.
Okay.
Level.
What about Aquaman?
Aquaman,
I have not seen it.
I really want to see it because Jason Momoa is the most attractive human on the earth.
possibly, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
next to Dillon, right?
Next to, well, I don't know, man.
Wow.
It's close.
He's close.
Who do you think
Um,
would win in a fight, though?
Dylan.
Oh god.
Okay.
So yeah, Aquaman was
I have to
good.
say that.
Because he beat you.
Yeah.
There were certain things about some of the action scenes that I have not seen done as well as in that movie.
Okay.
Very creative things were done,
Special
particularly
effects wise, is that what you're talking about?
not even special effects wise, but
Just
just
like choreography.
yeah, just like how the fight scenes are composed, and not just the fight scenes, but the action scenes. Like there's one in particular. This is gonna suck because I don't remember the movie very well. But they're fighting their way through this city, and the Mira and Aquaman are separated, but the things that are happening are affecting the other person. So like a blast from one side will shoot debris over to Aquaman's side. I don't have
That's
to.
awesome.
So it's cool transitioning back and forth.
That's really.
That being said, it is so cheesy. It's intense. Like
Wow.
like you're just like
Not
you
on
have
purpose
you have
either.
to go like this. Sometimes you're like, oh my god.
Oh,
Like
man.
like the amount of times that the villains say I am and then the villain name is too many times.
Wow.
The answer
That's unfortunate.
yeah, they'll be like, I am Ocean Master. Or no, he says call me Ocean Master, I think. Call me Ocean Master.
He says that? That's
villain
his name?
says that, yeah.
That's his name is Ocean Master?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I think, right? Yeah, maybe.
Oh,
I haven't
And
seen
then-
it. I haven't seen it.
And then the Black Manta, he says almost the exact same line. He goes, I am Black Manta. And you're like,
Well, if people
are you
don't have any
called-
context, then it's probably good
Yeah.
that they now they know.
Are you calling yourself Black Manta because you're black? Is that why you're calling yourself that?
Whoa.
But this is a phenomenon that I have long.
You gonna let him say that?
yeah.
On your
but,
podcast?
But you gotta switch it up because we don't have time. We're like,
I know, we're so bad.
Christian movies.
What's
shirts,
going on?
Aquaman.
Well, let
Let's
me
start out
qualify.
with Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
I just gotta add this. Terrible movie. But when Batman stabs a guy and twists the knife, just gotta say, love that. Love
Satisfying.
that little
Satisfying
detail.
I don't even remember that.
Okay, so that just adds this element to Batman where he's just like
little bit of
in
savagery.
a bad mood and a
Yeah.
little darker than.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Like that.
But yeah, but to clarify my statement before I get hate, there's a phenomenon in comics where all of the black characters are called Black something.
Oh yeah.
You will
Yeah,
observe
yeah,
this
Yeah.
if you think about it. I didn't think about it until a while back.
Give me one example.
Black Lightning,
One more.
Black Panther.
All right.
A panther is by
he
definition
just
black.
had to hear you say Black Panther. I think he's like, you
Yeah.
gotta say that one.
Because a panther
That's
by
all I- that's
definition
what I
is
wanted.
black. It's a black jaguar. That's what a panther is. So you're basically saying black jaguar.
Right, right.
It kind of
like,
pisses me
it's
off.
like your PIN number,
yeah.
your personal identification number.
Number. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
yeah.
love it.
Or chai tea. Chai just means tea.
Does it?
Yeah, it just
gosh.
means tea.
Can I have a TT?
That's hilarious.
Oh, here I go again.
You done got.
Leave it to me.
You got it.
I got by myself. And when I say got, I mean chai tea. Yeah, that's right.
I have no response.
I just
anyway,
say something to make everybody dumber.
We appreciate it, Stevie.
to
We're
try to get
welcome.
back on track before we end this thing.
I don't know if there ever was a track.
I don't know.
Good luck.
We're off-roading it on a train. We're
Happy
just crashing
hunting
through.
for the track. That's going to be like twice as long as what we've done even so
Yeah,
far.
I don't even know what we're going to call this episode, but I think that Sunflower is just dialoguing about a relationship that is healthy in a lot of ways, but then they both have problems. And so they're like trying to like look past them because there's so much good that they see in the relationship, but at the same time, it's like they're hurting each other.
Yeah.
That's the impression I get.
What's the part, like, what do you get out of the part when it's like if I wasn't there, something like you would have fallen, or I can't remember exactly. Do you know what the
Yeah.
lyric I'm saying? I'm paraphrasing.
Let me pull it up. I actually have it up, so let me just grab it.
Because it's interesting. It's like, I think it's the line right before the sunflower part, or it's right after.
You're left in the dust unless I stuck by you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a really like. So when I think about that in real life, I'm like, that's kind of like a really. Somebody hurting doesn't really need to hear that.
It's a little
and then you
prideful.
go right into you're a sunflower. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like if I said that to my wife, like in that order, it wouldn't have mattered how cute my little saying was.
Right.
Like,
That was a mean thing you just said to me.
Well, the impression I get, and maybe this is completely wrong,
Yeah.
but the visual I get is literally like a sunflower in the dirt,
mm-hmm.
and then he picks it up. And so it's like, not necessarily like, oh, well, I'm such a good person because I did this.
In the dust.
But it's literally like, I found you broken,
Yeah.
and it's like, I'm trying to like help you in some way. And, you know, that doesn't make it necessarily make it less conceited or whatever.
Right.
But to me, that's like the visual I get. Because like left in the dust is like a phrase that we think of like, "Ha, eat my dust, sucker," and then you're driving off. And like, oh my gosh.
Right.
That's the vision that we get from that.
Oh, is that? That's what we get from it.
Forever.
With the
After
image,
this moment.
but the imagery that I get is very much like literal. It's very much like there's a sunflower in the dust. And he's picking it up.
Yeah, sunflowers are big too.
They are big.
I thought for some reason when I was listening until yesterday listening to the song, I always imagined a dandelion instead of a sunflower. It's like she's just a little sunflower.
Mm-hmm.
She's just a little baby sunflower.
No.
But
No.
sunflowers are big.
Yeah,
They
baby.
really
That's,
are.
that's my takeaway from the song.
Yeah, they get
Sunflowers
so
are
big.
actually big,
When you think about it.
and that's science.
Yeah, it really is.
So, I mean, that's probably not a good adjective to use when describing your woman.
Big,
Yeah.
powerful, full of
Powerful.
seeds.
Powerful is better. Powerful's better. I wouldn't do the
I like
seeds
powerful.
either. All those seeds is better than big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a seedy woman.
No. Abort mission.
But if you're going for something, the only two things that pop up is big and seedy, go with the seedy. I mean, not a good choice, but
What if you
it's kind of like a
immediately?
presidential, like sometimes, you're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
bad, worse.
Yeah, that was
guess.
literally. I mean, I don't want to get into politics, but that was definitely my first time voting. It was one of those, and I was like, "This sucks. I want people that are cool and that I like."
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's been my
I don't think
feeling
that.
every time I voted.
Yeah,
I don't think that good people are good at politics. That's a whole discussion. But I think you have to be a psychopath to succeed in our political arena because normal people.
But what about Donald?
Okay. Save it for another time.
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Wow.
but yeah, I don't have a response. But
Please don't find one.
yeah, but I think between seedy and big, if you immediately follow it up, you could come up with some good out of that. So if you pick big, you know what? You're big on kindness because it's really important to you to be kind. Your heart is big.
Yeah.
Your heart is seedy.
Yeah, go with big on
Little
that one.
seeds.
Yeah,
Seeds that represent love.
yeah.
Love seeds.
So, we like this song on the top 40, Sunflower.
Is it a
Post
confession?
I like it.
I like it too.
Yeah. I haven't.
I love it.
And,
I love it.
yeah. So we needed to give you guys this because just to know, like, there's more dimensions than our hate for top 40 hits.
That was the objective.
Yes. I don't know if we fulfilled it. But
Dude, we...
butchered.
I wouldn't say butchered.
Yeah.
We were all over the place. But I think it's fine.
Butchered any plan we had.
We did. We did butcher the plan, for sure. But what came out of it was better than the plan.
I give Jonathan full credit.
Hey, thanks, guys.
And I said we should never do this again, but here we are clapping.
Well, he's a friend of the show, so he's going to have to come back on sometime.
That's true. That's true.
I'll come back sometime.
Because that's the difference between a guest and a friend of the show. Have you
Ooh.
noticed that?
I haven't noticed that. I only watch the Joe Rogan podcast, really.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I get, well, like Eddie Bravo. He's
Yeah.
kind of a friend of the show.
Yeah.
He's kind of a close friend, though.
Like a little too close?
I don't know if I want to be here that often.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I would love to.
Yeah.
I would love to be here that often.
And Brendan
Shab.
Schaub he's a friend
Yeah.
of the show.
He's not as cool of a friend. Eddie Bravo's way cooler.
Okay.
All right.
Is that what our next podcast is going to be about?
Brendan Schaub and Schaben?
Shab
No.
Schaben?
No.
and Eddie Bravo?
No.
I said Bravo, right? Not Alvarez?
You said Bravo.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Whew.
You did
Yeah.
say that.
That's worried for a
Yeah,
second. but I
not
said-
Eddie Alvarez.
He just got knocked
Sorry
out.
for your loss, Eddie.
Man,
Yeah, I saw that. I felt bad.
I did too.
And congratulations, Mighty Mouse.
Yep.
All right. And we out.
Yeah, we out.
Yeah. let's
All
keep
right.
it.
Do you guys have
Thanks,
a track?
guys.